So Sam O'Nella is back, and so am I. Dude, it has been a minute since I've done a reaction. Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's been a while, a couple months. Oh, I think it's probably almost a year now, but whatever. We're back and we're here. So let's get into it. Sam O'Nella Academy, Banned and Controversial Foods. Now, I know he had a video before this, but I couldn't help it, and I've already watched pretty much all his videos up to this. So this is the only one I haven't seen. So yes, I didn't react to those, but I've already watched it. So you're only gonna be seeing no reactions to that. I'm sorry. But let's go on with this one. Banned and
Hey Majors,
controversial.
so I'd like to start off
Hello.
with a little biology lesson. When a species finds itself living on an island, it can start to evolve in strange ways based on the different pressures applied by the new environment. This is called island syndrome, and while it can manifest in a lot of ways, the biggest driving force is often a lack of predators. For example, the dodo lost its ability to fly since there was nothing to flee from. The St. Kilda field mouse got twice as big since it no longer had to hide. And with no one around to bully them, the Sardinians started putting maggots in their cheese. Meet kazumartsu, literal translation, rotten cheese. It's made by taking a perfectly good wheel of
Okay, hold on.
pecorino and letting a special
Okay, there we go. I felt like the ratio for the video that I was playing was off, and I was right. So
taking a perfectly good wheel
let's
of
start again.
pecorino, literal translation, rotten cheese. It's made by taking a perfectly good wheel of pecorino and letting a special type of fly lay eggs in it. The fly babies then work to partially digest the cheese, rendering it goopy and wet and maybe quite tasty and worm-filled. Now, cheese as a concept is already quite suspect. It's clotted milk that you fill with bacteria and mold and let sit for a while, but
Like, okay, I remember I saw this in the TV show, and it made me realize, like, can you imagine the first person that discovered cheese and trying to sell that to people? It's like, yeah, it's just, it's milk that I've put out and I've let expire and just rot. And no, 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 it's like, it's safe. But, I just kind of, but yes, it is milk that's been out for too long. They're gonna be like, bro, you trying to kill us.
cheese is safe and delicious. Cheese is my friend. I trust cheese. So my guard would be down around Kazumartsu. I've learned to look past a cheese's childhood. Strange upbringings are what give them their
Okay.
character. But it turns out, those maggots are still alive. And if you don't chew
Oh,
well enough, they can
no.
cause enteric myiasis, which is a fancy term for fly larvae living in your intestines. Symptoms are
Oh,
similar to food poisoning, except with the added psychic pain of knowing that, again, your bowels are full of squiggly new friends. It's
and
for
it's self-inflicted because why would you do that?
this reason that Kazumartsu is banned in the EU and elsewhere. A black market still exists,
That's
which is
stressful.
wild, and it's not a small one. In 2019, the illicit
I missed this
Kazumartsu trade was
artwork.
estimated to be worth 2 to 3 million euros annually. Personally, I would just do it prohibition style, like definitely don't put these fly eggs on this sumptuous wheel of pecorino. But if you do, you absolutely shouldn't keep it warm and damp for a week. But although it's traditional to
Just
leave the larvae alive when
slide
you eat your
hints on how to
maggot
make it.
cheese, some consumers still prefer them dead, shockingly. In that case, one puts the cheese in a sealed bag, and when the maggots run out of oxygen, they writhe around and fling themselves all over the place. This is heard as a distinct pitter-patter against the walls of the
Oh,
bag, and when the sound stops, the contents are ready to eat, like popcorn. Shark fin soup is one most of us have heard about already, mostly in reference to its effect on shark populations and the wastefulness that goes into making it. Until recently, though, I never looked into the nature of the dish itself. I figured, right, the fins are just the only part of the shark worth eating. Big whoop, it's probably not much different from like swordfish. Apparently, though, I had it backwards. Shark fins aren't even meat. They're made almost entirely of cartilage and collagen. They are the last part we should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup, because without being soaked in broth, it has zero flavor or nutritional value on
but
its
is
own.
it
Their only
actually
redeeming
good though?
quality is their unique mouthfeel due to how stringily the collagen grows, in structures called ceratotrichia. The texture
Dude, that sounds like them freaking food connoisseurs. Like, oh, the mouth feel though. It's like something I've never tasted. I'm like, bro, mouthfeel aside, does it taste good though? Is it good? It's the mouthfeel.
Texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find describes most things, actually. Other adjectives present on Wikipedia include snappy, gelatinous, and sinewy. The exact sensation of eating this substance remains a mystery to me, and the unintended side effect of all this research is that I now really want to try it. Like, it's a big trade. I've got to be the one that's wrong. There is imitation shark fin
Really?
soup available, but I've already decided that it's not nearly as good. So I've come up with a compromise to this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just one bite. Say there.
Because the thing is, I've heard of shark fin soup before, but I didn't know it was like a big, massive trade that people literally made like a living off of this. I thought maybe, someone fishermen happened to like catch a shark or something, and oh yeah, we got shark fins, so let's just make shark fin soup type thing. Like it's not like they're actively hunting sharks to like for their fins for the soup. That's wild.
So I've come up with a compromise to this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just one bite. Say there's 10 bites to a fin, 4 fins to a shark, 200 million sharks die, sure, a necessary
Oh
casualty.
my,
Then we can end the practice forever.
that
All done.
would put
You can
them
finally rest,
endangered,
Mr.
if
Mink.
not
Come here,
extinct,
baby.
wouldn't it?
Aw. Aki. What?
And
Aki.
swordfish?
Where? Aki. The aki is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with Jamaican cuisine, where it appears in such dishes as aki and
And
saltfish.
swordfish,
These
yeah.
alien kidneys here are called the arils, and they're the only part of the fruit that's actually eaten. Their flavor is on the savory side, being described as kind of nutty or bean-like. What makes the aki controversial, though, is the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. If the
You know what? I've actually never questioned what ackee is from ackee and saltfish. That's wild. Okay, I want to hear that again. I was not fully paying attention.
here, baby. Aw. Aki. What?
Ackee.
Aki. Where? Aki. The aki is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with
Oh,
Jamaican cuisine, where it appears in such dishes as aki and saltfish. These alien kidneys here are called the arils, and they're the only part of the fruit that's actually eaten. Their flavor is on the
so
savory side, being
the
described as
rest of
kind
the
of
fruit is
nutty
not
or
edible?
bean-like. What makes the aki controversial, though, is the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. If the arils are allowed to completely ripen, they're harmless, but if you eat them too early, or don't thoroughly clean off all the non-aril stuff, they can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease doesn't sound real. It sounds like it belongs next to Eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings, but that's actually an official term. And as for
Okay,
symptoms, it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While Aki, that's
right.
actually an official
Jamaican vomit is known as toxic hypoglycemic syndrome. It's an acute illness caused by the toxins, which are present in fruits. Okay, yeah. What is the symptoms? It can cause vomiting and even death. Okay, some countries in Caribbean with frequent cases. I never expected that ackee and saltfish was potentially deadly if not prepared right, or not even prepared right. If they just don't use the right type of ackee,
term, and as for
that's
symptoms,
crazy.
it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While Aki-based products aren't outright illegal in the United States, they are very tightly regulated, and the raw fruit itself cannot be imported. So if you're American and want to try it, your options are fully cooked canned Aki or going to Florida where a few people grow it domestically. Next we have bird's nest
Canned
soup. This is
ackee.
another one that I've vaguely heard of, and for years I
Bird
just assumed
nest
the name was a
soup.
playful metaphor like ants on a log or shit on a shingle. Turns out,
No
nope, this
snap.
dish contains an actual bird nest, not like a pile of twigs like I was picturing, but
Okay.
rather a specific type of nest.
That's exactly what I was picturing. I was like, what? They cook a bunch of twigs and leaves? Like how does that taste good? But okay, no, it's not
Only
that.
made by certain species of swiftlets. These nests are mostly made out of mucins, which are a set of proteins that, among other things, serve to thicken all those wonderful secretions our bodies make. There's a little bit in human saliva, a little bit more in mucus, and in swiftlet saliva, look out, pal. So all the
Wow.
swiftlet does is it finds a nice wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which dry, and eventually she's got a nice place to
It
roost. That
just
is, right up
spits
until
out
fat strings of
logie.
slobber, which dry, and eventually she's got a nice place to roost. That is,
Oh.
right up until some gourmand says,
But the
"Ugh,
whole
dry,"
thing
and
is
as it
made
finds a
out of
nice
the
wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which dry,
Oh.
and eventually she's got a nice place to roost. That is, right up until some gourmand says, "Ugh, today I crave bird spit."
Oh my
Yikes,
god.
though. And
I'm most of the other ones I understand how potentially someone could have stumbled upon, like eating that or making that as food and discovering, oh, this is actually edible and it can be pretty tasty depending on how you make it. Like for shark fin soup, if you hunted a shark, you ate all the meat and you had the fins left. You're like, oh, what do we do with it? Oh, maybe let's try making it into a soup, or I don't know, maybe it was like a famine going on and they're like, we have nothing but shark fins, so I guess we're just gonna have to try and figure out a way to cook them to make them edible and whatnot. But who looked at a bird's nest? I was like, I wonder if that tasted good. That's wild.
They then reconstitute it back into its original gelatinous texture. Unfortunately, these nests can't enter says,
Today I crave bird spit. You
Okay.
can keep the eggs though.
and they then reconstitute it back into its original gelatinous texture. Unfortunately, these nests can't enter the US since, believe it or not, eating bird saliva is a great way to catch bird flu. And now the
Yeah.
time has come to speak of the ortolan. The ortolan is a kind of bunting, which is a sort of passerine, which is a type of bird.
What's happening here?
Like many animals, they have a long history of being eaten by the French. But what separates the ortolan from your average squab or pheasant is the unique way in which it is prepared and eaten. They're typically caught with nets and kept in the dark, which causes them to overeat for some reason. Once it's about
So
twice as
stuffed
fat, the
birds.
entire bird is then thrown into a container of brandy, alive,
Okay.
and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also
I
drowns in the
mean,
process.
this has to be some form of animal. So they just drown it in alcohol. Peter would not be standing for this at all.
Alive and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also drowns in the process, thereby killing one bird with no stones. The ortolan is then roasted, plucked, and presented whole to the consumer, who inserts the carcass into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one hand continues holding the bird's head, while the other picks out the larger bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large...
Do you feel bad for eating the head, or is it like a freaking... I don't know, is it like a... Because for me, if I was going to eat like a whole bird, I don't know why, but my first thought is head first, you know? Like, just bite down the head, you know? It's already dead, yes, but I feel like putting it out of its misery a second time, you know? It doesn't have to watch itself being eaten alive. Or not alive, but dead.
napkin over one's head. There's a few bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large napkin over one's head. There's a few explanations for the purpose of the towel. Some say it's just there to keep the aromas in, while others say it's there to, quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. Yeah, this one I'm okay
don't
with not
do
trying,
it.
actually.
Oh my
Notable
god.
fans.
I mean, I would assume the napkin over your head would make it harder to see what... Okay, I guess maybe if you like, it's already in your mouth, then it's like eating chicken in the dark. You know, it's like if not. That's gonna be a weird analogy, but you know, like the chicken legs with the two bones. I don't know what they're called, but like the chicken wings with like the two bones, not the one bone one. Like if you throw that hole in your mouth, and then it's like you then have to like fish out the two bones while you're trying to eat at the same time, because you don't want to like... I don't know, maybe some people don't do this. Some people are looking at me like, what the frick are you on about? But sometimes I just can't be bothered to just pick it up and just be eating this. I just throw the whole thing and then just work around the bone until I can just take the bones out. So I guess it's kind of like that.
Of this dish include, not joking, Bill Cosby and the guy who invented the lobotomy. To be part of that social club. Our mission is to eat birds whole and then make people not remember things. Killing ortolans was banned across the EU in 2007, not for any ethical reason, but because French people did this so much that the entire ortolan population was threatened. Thankfully, as of 2018, their conservation status is under least concern, so hopefully the French can get back to it soon.
I was gonna say, so it's about to be ortolan season again.
And thank you for watching.
Oh my god, Sam, it's good to have you. Hey, relax. It's good to see you, man. It's been a long time. Yeah, so that was salmonella, controversial foods, because I don't even know, like, I can never eat some, like, most of what shark fin soup. I think that one I'm kind of curious about now, though. Like, he says it has no like nutritional value, yes, but like taste wise, you know, I wanna, I wanna test out that mouthfeel, you know, see what it's all about, see what the big deal is about the mouthfeel. Oh my god. All right, man. I hope you'll enjoy it and I catch you all in the next one in a bit.